Well, hello and welcome everyone. We are going to be doing something a little outside of my comfort zone today. We're going to be trying something brand new here in this tub that we have here. We have two fresh hams, and underneath that we have two fresh bacon sides. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting these two hams in a brine and curing them, and then we're going to smoke them out. And we're going to take our two pork bellies, our fresh sides, we're going to cut them in half. One of them we're going to do just a dry salt cure. The other half we're going to do a dry salt and black pepper cure. And then the other pork belly that we're going to cut in half, we're going to do a wet brine in vacuum seal bags. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get all my ingredients together here. And we're going to get our bucket of water and we're going to get these hams done first. Okay guys, in this bucket we have 3 gallons of water, and we are going to put in 2 cups of brown sugar, we're also going to put in 2 teaspoons of ground clove, and then instead of pink curing salt we're going to use celery powder. This is celery that we grew on the homestead and we dehydrated and blended up and made a powder out of it, and there is 7 tablespoons of this in here. We're going to pour that in there, and then we're going to need 4.5 cups of kosher salt. So I am going to very slowly and methodically empty this salt out. Now, we've never done a ham like this before, guys. This is brand new for us, but if you've been following along, you know that earlier this summer we were fortunate enough to get 2 fully grown out Kune American guinea hog mixes, and they went pretty much straight from where we bought them to the butcher. And we brought all that meat home, and I'll leave a link up top for that video. And we had them cure up some bacon for us so we would have it right away, but we did not have them cure up any hams, and we specifically told them that we wanted at least 2 of the pork bellies for ourselves because we wanted to try making our own bacon. So very excited that this day has finally come. We are out of the bacon that they cured, so really if we want bacon, there's no point in going to the store and buying bacon. We should just learn how to make our own bacon. And it goes the same with the hams. So we're going to take these 2 hams and we're going to get them cured up. And then we're going to smoke them. And then one of them, most likely, is going to be the one that we'll pull out once it's smoked to the point that it can be refrozen and saved for later. And another one we'll leave in the smoker and turn the heat up, and we will have that for ourselves. So I've got all my ingredients in here. Let's get a spoon out and get it stirring so we can get the hams in. All right, guys, let's get this all stirred up. Get it all mixed in there. That looks good. Smells good, that's for sure. You want to get down to the bottom, get that salt and that brown sugar up, because you want that all mixed in really good so that this brine will penetrate the ham evenly. Otherwise, the bottom ham will get most of the salt and brown sugar taste, while the rest of the ham does not. And that's not what we're looking for. Not at all. Now, this is a very simple recipe that I found online. This is not some kind of family heirloom or anything like that. And we thought we would just try something very basic and very simple in the beginning so that we can work out the details as we move forward. All right, that looks pretty mixed up, pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Let's get our hams in there. These hams, we have a 6.5 pound ham and a 7.5 pound ham. So I had to make basically a double brine for both, one for each ham. So everything that you saw me put in there was a doubled up recipe, because the recipe came for just one. So pull this on out of here. Look at that baby, guys. All right, let's get this first one in there. Down she goes. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, we got them in the brine. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, we got them in the brine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw a cover on that. All right, guys, we're gonna throw this in the refrigerator. Now, every day I'll come and I'll make sure that it's pushed down in and there's nothing up and exposed. And this is going to stay in the refrigerator for at least 7 to 10 days before we pull it out. And then we're gonna rinse it off. We're gonna get it in the smoker. So let me get this in the refrigerator and we'll move on to the bacons. All right, now that we've got our hams in the brine and in the refrigerator, it's time to move on to our bacon and our fresh sides. So here's our first one. Let's get it opened up and get it out on the cutting board. So that we can get it trimmed up and cut in half. So the butcher pretty much trimmed it up for me already. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this in half the long way. Like that. So now you guys can see. Doesn't that look like bacon? That looks fantastic. All right, let me get my bus tub over here and we'll start getting these cured up. Okay guys, it's pretty simple what we've got going on here. This first one is just going to be our salt brine. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little of this kosher salt down in our bus tub. We're going to take this and we're going to press that all in and make sure that it's got plenty of salt on it. Okay, and then we're going to take and we're going to make sure it's got a pretty decent coating of salt. And then we're going to flip it over again. And we're going to coat this side. Okay. Now we're going to take this one and we're going to turn it and we're going to set it like that. Okay. Now we're going to take and put a little more salt on this side. And we're going to get this one down in there while we make up our black pepper and brown sugar coating for this one. Alright guys, I got my ingredients. It's pretty simple. We've got some brown sugar and we've got some black pepper. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I am going to take this brown sugar and I basically want a cup of brown sugar. And there's probably a more graceful way to do this, but this is cooking with men. This is not cooking with Martha Stewart. So we'll get that cup of brown sugar in there. And then for our black pepper, this is cracked black pepper. I'm going to go with 4 tablespoons of cracked black pepper. Okay. So let me get that all mixed up real quick. Okay, now that looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our bacon back over here and we're going to put a little salt on this one, just like the other one. And then we're going to take some of this black pepper and brown sugar and we're going to spread this out over the whole thing. Almost like a rub. Once we get that on there, guys, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip this one over. We're going to salt it. And we're going to put a little bit more of this on here. Now, I'm sure you're all saying, oh, you know, when the fluid starts coming out of this, some of that brown sugar and black pepper is going to get on this one. And you're right, it is, but for the most part, this will have a distinct flavor separate from that one. So this is ready. This is going to now go into, that's going to go into the refrigerator, guys. And that is going to stay in the refrigerator for 7 to 10 days. And every single day I'm going to come and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to drain the juice out and I'm going to resalt them. So I'll take you along on that as we do that. But we'll put this one to the side and let's get ready to do our vacuum sealed ones. I am ready to put my cure together. What I have here is 10 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. I have 10 tablespoons of brown sugar. I have 4 tablespoons of the celery powder. And I have 4 tablespoons of crushed black pepper. And we're just going to get that all mixed together. All right, guys, same as the other one. We're gonna get our fresh side out here. And get it opened up. Alrighty. We're gonna get this cut in half. Look at that. That looks beautiful, guys. Take a look at that. Doesn't that look fantastic? All right. Now that we've got that all cut, what we're gonna do, it's pretty simple. We're gonna take our big vacuum seal bag and we're gonna put one of these in each one of them. And get it laid out as flat as we can. There. Now we can get rid of this cutting board. Okay. Got my hands washed up. All right, guys. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to lay these both out. We're going to take our curing agent. Okay, and we're going to put half in one bag and the other half in the other bag. I'm having trouble getting this done, guys. Hold on, let me get a spoon. Look at that. That's going to go a lot better and be a lot less messy, I think, in the long run. Flip it over so we get some on the back side as well. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, for this one here, we're going to give it just a little bit of a kick. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 teaspoon of red pepper flake and shake that out on both sides of the bacon. Like that. we got both of our pork bellies in their vacuum sealer. We've got our one with a little crushed red pepper. So this is a brown sugar, crushed red pepper, and black pepper cure. And this one here is just a plain old black pepper brown sugar cure. And that is going to go in there as well. Okay, so what's going to happen with these ones is, because while they're in the vacuum seal bags and they're in the refrigerator curing, the moisture is going to come out of them, but it will stay in the bag. So it ends up at the end of the process being more of a brine kind of a solution than the other one, which was totally a dry curing method. So these are going to go in the fridge. We're going to check on them every day, and we'll bring you guys along for that, and then we'll come back when they're ready to come out and go in the smoker. All right, guys, we're about halfway through the curing process. Why don't you take a look here? These are our two bacons that were not vacuum sealed. This is the plain one. And we're just flipping it, and you can see it does have a little bit of pepper on it, but it's looking really good. And here's the one that is brown sugar and pepper. And that is looking really, really good. And they're both getting good and stiff. And I've been draining the fluid out of both of them. So this is going to go back into the refrigerator. And then we're going to check the ones that we vacuum sealed. So this is the plain brown sugar and black pepper. And it's getting good and stiff. And that looks really good. And this is the brown sugar, black pepper with a little bit of red pepper flake. Give it a little bite. And that's getting nice and stiff as well. So we'll put these back in the refrigerator in a couple of days. We're going to get them out in the smoker along with our hams that are in the brine. All right, guys, it is about time. We have been flipping our bacons every single day and resalting it as it needed, and it's time to take them out and prepare them for the smoker. So let me get out the two that were not in the vacuum sealers, and we'll get these over here to the sink and get them cleaned up. Okay, now we're just going to take some paper towel and pat it dry. All right, let's get a probe in this one. Okay, now that we have our bacon slabs on the rack and the probes in them, and we got our sink all cleaned out, let's get our hams out of the brine. I'm gonna try and not make a big mess here and just pour out some of this brine. Oh, look at that, guys, I did it. All right. So we're gonna repeat the process. We're just going to rinse these hams off and get them on the rack and get the probes in them. All right, guys, we have the probes in our ham and in our bacon bellies. I've got those on a double rack. It's time to get them out into the smoker. All right, guys, I got everything in there. As you can see, I got the hams about mid-level and I got the bacons up top. I want the bacons to get most of the smoke, so that's what we're going. And then I also got one of these pellet smoker tubes. So what we're gonna do, get that all fired up. Oh yeah, look at the smoke, guys. That looks good. All right, let's get it closed up. Now I'm just gonna get my probes plugged in so I can monitor their temperature. These, according to what I saw, need to cook at about 200 degrees for 4 to 6 hours, and we're looking for a temperature of 145 on the hams and 145, 150 on the bacons. All right, guys, it's been like 2 hours and 45 minutes. What do you say? Let's open it up and take a look. Oh yeah, that is starting to look like bacon. And look at those hams. All right, let's get this closed back up. Don't want to lose that precious smoke. So this is where we're at, guys. Our bacons at the top of the smoker are at 133 and 129. And our hams are at 90 and 86. All right, guys, I'm actually gonna pull up a chair. Let's do a little taste test. First of all, let me say that, well, it doesn't look like I was hoping it was gonna look. Let's see how it tastes. So, we're gonna start off with the brown sugar, cracked pepper, hot jalapeno bacon. That's pretty good. Tastes like bacon. Tastes just like it's supposed to taste. The hotness of the crushed red pepper is not overwhelming at all. All right, guys, our hams are up to temperature, so let's take a look. Oh, look at that. All right, let's pull them out. Those look amazing. So we're gonna let these cool off. One of them we're gonna keep out so that we have ham for breakfast and ham sandwiches and different things like that. The other one we're gonna let fully cool and then refreeze and have it for later on. This has been an adventure into curing our own ham and curing our own bacon. Bacon did not come out exactly the way I thought, but it's a learning process, so we'll see how it goes next time. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.